You know, I think part of why Kamala is getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Gates.
And Gates.
Yeah.
And I only ask that because you just look at them and you're like, that's a nervous person right there. I don't know. I mean, I assume you know them. Yeah.
Yes. Reid Hoffman was my vice president of business development at PayPal.
Yeah.
24 years ago.
Does he seem nervous to you?
Yeah, I mean, he's terrified of a Trump victory.
Because of the disclosure that would follow?
I think, yeah, I mean, I think he's certainly ideologically not aligned with Trump anyway, but I think he is concerned about the Epstein situation. Like something might actually, the DOJ might actually move forward.
There are a lot of videos, apparently. Those rooms on the island, and I think out in New Mexico, were wired for video.
Right.
And
where's the video? I mean, between Diddy and Epstein, there's probably several thousand hours of footage here.
Yeah. It's kind of weird that the people on those videos are lecturing the rest of us about our moral failings, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird.
What is that?
Well, I mean, part of how they deflect attention from themselves is by criticizing the morals of others.
Yes.
So it's sort of like a preemptive moral strike.
Yes.
I mean, as I said, I think those who are saying Trump is a threat to democracy are themselves actually the threat to democracy.
It feels like we're getting to a place where the rest of us know too much. Is this, do you know what I mean? I mean, it's easier to live in a society where you don't really know what the people in charge are doing or why they're doing it. But now, thanks, I would say, largely to X.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say that.
Yeah.
We do know a lot. Not everything, but we know a lot. And I wonder, where does that, like, what happens next now that we know all this? The kidnapper's shown us his face. Like, what happens?
Well, I think if Trump wins, we can do some house cleaning.
Elon Musk, known for his bold statements, has sparked fresh controversy by addressing two explosive topics: Jeffrey Epstein's alleged client list and accusations against rapper scene Diddy Combs. These scandals intertwine with powerful figures from politics and Hollywood, unraveling a web of secrets and revelations. Tech mogul Elon Musk recently fueled public demand for transparency by voicing support for revealing the Epstein and Diddy files. On social media, Musk stated, "The people want the Diddy and Epstein files," followed by a firm yes, reigniting debates about power, accountability, and justice.
But you know, it was explained that in these lawsuits or there's a morality clause. Do you think that his battle against this liquor company could have been what set this off actually, or was this only inevitable?
Well, you gotta look at it. We all thought he owned Ciroc.
For sure.
He felt like eventually he would be able to get some ownership stake. He didn't. And these issues really started for him once he went after them. Because shortly thereafter, he sold Revolt TV. And anybody who follows him, Revolt TV was his baby. He worked hard on that.
Facts.
So once that was sold, I knew the end was near at that point. Because, you know, just like Gucci Mane, when he went to jail, he passed his artist contracts off to people who can hold them and fulfill the details while he was gone. That's what they do. They pass it off to people who can put it in a shell corporation. Because you can have a corporation that have a anonymous owner. So once I seen Revolt get sold, I knew the end. I knew there was going to be a tumultuous path for him for sure.
Did you feel like it was Diddy's, or do you feel like he was careless towards leading up to this? Like, just, I know you had mentioned him, just the way he's moving. You know, he's even him coming to New York, lollipops. Do you feel like he was moving like very careless to where like, that's why you don't have a bond? That's why, you know, you weren't strategic enough in this whole thing?
Absolutely, because the agreement was that as long as his private jet wasn't in the same state as him, he would be able to stay on the street. The moment that jet came to New York, he got arrested. And then you got to think about it, like, they got him on audio, calling witnesses, trying to get them to change the story.
The Epstein case has gripped public attention for years. accused of soliciting a 14-year-old, Jeffrey Epstein's ties extended to powerful figures like Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and even Hollywood stars such as Leonardo DiCaprio. Despite significant evidence, the full extent of his network remains cloaked in secrecy.
Trying to get interested. Oh, okay, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. All right, Joker, coming to you right now. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so this is what you did to the young man.
Yeah. So that's when I had 50 on me. Yeah, I had to shoot through the door. And like the dude who said call 911, he got hit in the neck, hit an artery, shot blood all through the ceiling on the porch, everywhere. Oh, let me get it right, my bad.
Yeah, please. Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, so the video I just sent you, that was a situation where I had a bounty on my head. So basically what happened was a group of guys pretty much ran a train on a girl. She was passed out, underage, and we at the spot. And somebody come busting through the door. It's a female. She's like, where Big Homie at? I'm in the back on the couch, sleep. I hear her calling for me. I'm like, what's up? She said, look at this. So she threw me these purple sweatpants. I'll never forget this. And I'm like, what am I looking at? So immediately on the outside of the pants, I see like some like dry white substance. And then like inside the pants, I see a lot of dry blood. I'm like, these are like some little girl pants. What's going on? They did this to my daughter, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They bragging about it, making posts on Facebook, calling my daughter a hoe. She an honor roll student. She went over there with her friend, et cetera, et cetera. And she came with a bag of money, bro. Like, she came with a bag of money, bro. Like, and she wanted retribution for this. She called law enforcement and stuff like that. You feel me? I guess they wasn't working fast enough for her. And so we had took action into our own hands. I kind of regret doing this, but then I don't, because like that little lady thanks me every day. You know what I'm saying?
Epstein's 2019 death, officially ruled a suicide, only deepened conspiracy theories, with many suspecting it was staged to shield powerful individuals linked to his crimes. The long-demanded release of his client list has resurfaced as a hot topic, amplified by Musk's recent remarks.
Another instance, another minor, told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star, but he needed to visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral sex upon him. Another incident, an individual 15 years old at the time, flown to New York City to attend a party, was drugged, and then taken into a private room, allegedly in the presence of Mr. Combs, where this female individual, minor, was raped, and then other individuals took turns raping her. Another individual, 26 at the time of the occurrence, was picked up allegedly by Mr. Combs and several other people in a black SUV from the airport, was given one drink in the SUV, and then literally woke up the next day not knowing what had happened, but with pain and damage to both her vagina and her anus, where she then went to the hospital. She was missing her underwear and her shoes. Another instance, an individual, this time not a minor, attended a group dinner, allegedly with Sean Combs in Miami. She wasn't drinking because she was pregnant, but whatever she drank at the table, apparently, at least according to her, was laced with something. she blacked out and she woke up in the same bed, again, allegedly, with Mr. Combs in his mansion in Miami.
Diddy Combs, the legendary rapper and producer, is facing his own scandal, awaiting trial for alleged crimes linked to a web of influential figures. While reports hint at the involvement of high-profile individuals, their identities remain undisclosed.
Who claims she's been at a freak off and said she saw children, and it was hard for her to say it.
It was very hard for her to say it, Ashley. So what she said was that she was flown out from LA to Miami by the Saudi prince. And they ended up eventually on Star Island at one of Diddy's parties. She says, you know, among many other things, I mean, she goes into detail. This, she says, happened in 2018. She says that she walked into the house and there was a cluster of adults around what she described as little people. And they were dressed up as Japanese Barbies. I forgot the name. It's Harak something. You can help me out here. It's a certain type of Barbie. Anyway.
I know the name, but I've forgotten it. But go ahead.
So she explained that that they were just clustered around these little people. And I kept pushing her. And she eventually said, look, they are little people who should not be at an adult party. And I pushed her, and it was apparent what she was saying is they were minors. Now, she didn't see anything specific that was going on with them other than that adults were kind of huddled around them. But she told just a wild story about what was going on at the house, even at 7 a.m, that this thing apparently raged all night long.
You know, it's amazing. TMZ always gets such great scoops, and this one might be one of your best as well. You got a hold of one of the freak off tapes. Your producers have seen it. The description is, and I'll quote, it's porn directed by Diddy.
What makes this even more intriguing is the timing. Elon Musk's statement comes amid a politically charged climate following the recent U.S. elections. President-elect Donald Trump has also expressed openness to releasing the Epstein files, a move that could strengthen his supporters' trust or backfire dramatically if his own name is linked.
As you know, I represent other clients, actual victims who have sued Mr. Combs, Diddy, in civil court, and all of them are very apprehensive about their safety if he were to be granted bond. I am confident in the court. I am sure that the court will remain with their previous decision of no bond. I feel like the judge only gave this let me think about it just to not make it as obvious. But I have all the confidence in the world and the federal court and the state of New York that they will remain keeping Diddy under no bond, and that all of the victims in this case will be able to proceed sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and you mentioned, I mean, you don't just represent this man, you represent other alleged victims too and people involved. Have there been any threats made against any of your clients?
There have been threats from people on the internet, but not from, at least what we don't know, from Diddy to be directly. So my clients have, Mr. Burgess has received several death threats. My client, Mrs. Parham, has been receiving threats, but we don't know if they're just regular people from the internet or if they're actually people who were sent by Diddy.
Expose entire systems of power and privilege.
Do you have any idea where the threats are coming from? I mean, have you done any investigation?
Often evade accountability.
Well, most of the investigation leads us to a lot of burner accounts on Instagram, and we're trying to now sift through possibly working with law enforcement to try to get subpoenas to determine the IP addresses of where those threats were emanating.
So, okay, interesting. We know that the cease and desist letter has now come. Has there been any other pressure of any kind that you or your clients have felt to stop talking?
In general, I feel that the gag order, when we talk about that, Mark Agnifilio wrote about me specifically, and also all of the other plaintiffs in the civil lawsuits to try to have all of us gagged. There's pressure every day that it's continuing to talk about this is putting not only our lives in jeopardy, but could be potentially used against us in a gag order.
So it was, I just want to make sure I understand correctly, it was Diddy's sons who actually sent the cease and desist. Is that the way it was worded?
Yes, it was worded as coming from Quincy Brown and Christian Combs. It did mention the daughters, but it did not name them specifically, but it did name the two sons, Kim Porter's sons.
So do you get the sense that from behind bars, Diddy is still directing all of this, is the one who said send this letter? Do you think he's that involved?
I'm 100% confident it was Diddy who orchestrated this whole farce of a letter. The letter was a waste of my time to read and a waste of the lawyer's time to write.
Musk's involvement adds complexity as a close confidant of Trump and co-chief of Dogecoin. His words carry significant weight in conservative circles. Musk's push for transparency aligns with the NAGA movement's call to hold elites accountable, but it also invites scrutiny. Known for challenging narratives and disrupting power structure.
Oh shit! Man.
Yes. And if you type him up, he done got caught with several Transformers.
Yeah, it's crazy because again, we had I did an interview with Bobby Valentino and Chingy, and they opted to do it together. And as I did it together, we also interviewed Sydney Starr here. And
all together?
No, just Chingy and Bobby. They said they had to do the interview together. So we interviewed we interviewed Sydney Starr, and she brings up the whole Chingy stuff and like, this is water under the bridge and blah blah blah. But I'm looking at the connection of it. I'm like, man, for that story to be a thing, and then Sydney and then Chingy, it just looks away.
First and foremost, I don't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead, please.
Salute real life production.
Yes.
Salute Joker, salute Rook, salute Fab. You've been outside a long time, bro. You done seen a lot of stuff, bro. You know when something look fishy.
Right.
You probably know, like, hold on, man. The back door open right now. They probably, just like y'all know, bro. When something look a little weird, you get that feeling.
Right.
It's not all a coincidence, bro.
Well, I'll say this. We born in.
Of course. The most hidden treasure trove of his life is with me. But I have protected Michael up till now.
Up till now?
Of course. Of course. I've said nothing that has been inflammatory about my friend. I protected Michael. You see, when I had a meeting at the house with AEG officials, and they pointed to Michael, the guy who could not pay me for months after taking care of him. And they said that he could not pay for the popsicle his daughters were using, the toilet paper that they were using to wipe their private areas, that he was penniless. I was shocked. As it was that time when Michael came to me trembling and trying to get me away from the AG official, who was Randy Phillips. I was shocked out of state. I should have just picked my bags up and leave had I been looking for money. But it wasn't money. It was about the love of Michael. I have suffered a lot. There's no doubt about it. But I don't hate Michael. Michael did not do me wrong. He did not want this to happen to me. Whatever happened to Michael when I was not there, it's probably his own misjudgment. And I believe that clearly happened because he was illogical, he was irrational, and he was in a withdrawal state from Demerol, which Dr. Arnold Klein was feeding him.
You said that he gave himself the drugs. You believe he gave himself the final fatal dose?
The premises cannot be breached. It wasn't breached. There was no one else in the house, in the upper chambers, but Michael and myself. I was away from him. The phone records show us that.
But again, I ask, shouldn't you have been with him?
No, because, and that's a good question, because I gave Michael Jackson 25 milligrams of propofol over 3 to 5 minutes. All of the doctors, 7 doctors in the trial showed that there could be no propofol effect after 10, maximum 15 minutes by Dr. Rogers, which is what I told the police. If I give Michael Jackson between 1040 and 1050, 25 milligrams of propofol, the effect of the drug would be gone by 11. Okay. And if I monitored him beyond 1120,
you believe, according to medical standards, that you were reasonable with that. So you said you haven't shared any secrets of Michael's until now. Do you plan to? Is there something you want to tell us?
I would not share with you any hidden secrets of Michael. Not at this time. We don't have that in summary.
But how long are you going to be silent?
How long am I going to be silent?
A bizarre twist in this story involves Ellen DeGeneres, the former talk show host criticized for a toxic workplace environment. Recently, she and her partner, Portia de Rossi, left the United States. Musk speculated that their sudden departure could be linked to fears of being implicated in the Diddy list. While there's no solid evidence supporting this theory, it has sparked online discussions about Hollywood's potential connections to these scandals. As the public eagerly awaits the release of these files, the stakes have never been higher. The Epstein and Diddy cases are not just about individual wrongdoings. They highlight systemic failures to protect the vulnerable and hold the powerful accountable.
He did a lot of bad shit. You know what I'm saying? He did a lot of bad shit, but I guarantee you.
Everybody keeps saying bad shit, but they only talking about freaky shit. Are we talking about freaky shit or we talking about criminal shit? That's what I'm confused
Criminal
about.
and freaky shit.
Oh, he did some criminal shit. Okay, I ain't heard nothing about the criminal shit.
I done heard all type of shit, man. But it'll be allegations like you gonna hear, you know, about shit. But
Is Diddy just that gangster to where niggas wasn't even trying to fuck? If you look at the history, we talking about a nigga that's accused of killing Pac, accused of killing Biggie, accused of shooting the club up that Shine was in. That nigga done got away with a lot of wild shit, bro. If we talking about,
he shot that lady in the face.
he shot the lady in the face, bro, and didn't do no time. Like
she said she.
It's a nigga out there that's done did the same exact shit that Diddy did, and he's still doing it though.
But he ain't popular like Diddy.
That's just Diddy, like you know what I'm saying, like bro, look. Why? Tell me why all the people who really got some money is saying like, man, look, for real, like a lot of the people out here with some money doing the same shit, but I'm gonna let y'all have it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But that nigga was next level though. He was next level.
But for real, think about it though. Why you think they like I'm gonna let y'all have it, but like.
But you know what?
Can't even really speak on it, but it's they doing the same shit over there, but y'all so focused over here, they going crazy over here. Y'all don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, man, come on, bro.
I'm gonna bring
it's
this
the truth,
bro.